Good morning. Thanks for stopping by for the Farm and Ranch News. Well, a lot in the news concerning bison this week. The National Park Service released a draft environmental impact statement for bison management in the park. The EIS considers strategies to managing bison in Yellowstone, such as continuing the interagency bison management plan approved in 2000. Other tactics could include relocating bison to tribal lands, relying on natural selection, bison dispersal, and public and tribal harvest to regulate numbers. The current plan is to manage for a range of 3,500 to 5,000 bison, but the Park Service estimates that currently there are almost 6,000 bison in the park. Virtual meetings will be held to receive public comments on August 28th and 29th. And after the Interior Department this spring announced steps to restore populations of wild bison to prairie ecosystems, Congressman Matt Rosendale is asking Interior Secretary Deb Haaland for transparency on the potential introduction of bison to Montana. In the letter, Rosendale wrote that it's concerning that these hearings are occurring quietly with little to no information available to the public. He said he expects the process will be public and open to feedback from local stakeholders. And in other news, the EPA rejected two petitions from environmental advocates calling for stronger regulations for concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFOs. Instead, the agency said it'll conduct a comprehensive evaluation to determine if any rule changes are needed. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association thanked the EPA for protecting cattle producers from frivolous lawsuits. Well, thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you back here for the markets.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought. There always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. But it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Welcome back to the Ag News. 16 state attorneys general, including Montana's Austin Knudsen, sent a letter to the leadership of both chambers of Congress urging them to pass the Ending Agricultural Trade Suppression, or EATS Act. The bill specifically targets California's Proposition 12 that was upheld by the Supreme Court this summer. Prop 12 sets more stringent animal confinement requirements specifically for hog and veal producers, but there's concern it could extend to other commodities. The letter says states should be able to regulate livestock production within their own borders, but one state shouldn't be able to dictate production standards for the entire country. Well, higher box beef hasn't done anything to support the futures. Rather, they move lower this week with pressure from higher corn and lower cash. Now, southern cash-fed cattle trade is down $1 this week at $179. Northern trade steady so far on light volumes from $186 to $188. The weigh-up market at Pays starting to show some softness with a little less condition in the cattle. We are starting to test the yearling market. Saw 8-weight heifers sell $226 to $232, 9-weights $220 to $228. Finished lambs continuing to work higher, up $2 to $6 in Sioux Falls this week from $185 to $219. And the wheat market unable to get anything going as the market ignores the war in Ukraine, where Russia is specifically targeting export infrastructure. The market is oversold and U.S. supplies are historically low, especially for durum and spring wheat, but we're still looking at futures at 2 to 3 month lows. Well, that's going to do it for today's report. Thanks for joining us and have a good one.